Let's see, smoke, pewter, foggy night, stormscape, cement. You're probably wondering what I'm doing. Well, I'm just proving that this is the closest I'm ever going to get to 50 Shades of Grey. It's been a couple weeks since I've had a review, and this one is late, but it has a little to do with my broken arm. What can I say? Some guys get all the luck, including Matthew Vaughn, a filmmaker who I really respect, especially the fact that he's married to Claudia Schiffer. Before he was the director of in-your-face kinetic comic book adaptations like Kick-Ass and X-Men First Class, he was primarily a producer for cheeky British gangster films directed by Guy Ritchie. Vaughn had a hand in great films like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch before bringing that same flavor to his own directorial films. But I'm starting to believe that one of the characters in Snatch was based off of Vaughn. Why do they call him the Bullet Dodger? Because he dodged films like X-Men The Last Stand. Vaughn has this seemingly uncanny ability to either come in at the right time or get when the getting is good. He turned down X3, then came in and directed X-Men First Class, and left so Singer could direct X-Men Days of Future Past. Everybody wins. He also directed the original Kick-Ass, but not the god-awful sequel. Quick, Vaughn, what are next month's lottery numbers? This is a director who clearly picks his own projects very carefully, but it's interesting to note that with Kingsman, he's once again, for the third time in a row, directing a comic book adaptation. And like Kick-Ass, a very obscure and apparently very violent comic book. And just like that, we come to one of the main staples of any Vaughn film. Dude loves violence. And not just violence, but uber-violence, like if Tarantino directed a remake of Clockwork Orange. Seemingly, he needs this ultra-violence to express himself in any film. He must have had a tough time with the PG-13 world of X-Men First Class. But it should be noted that Vaughn never overuses the violence, and so it becomes very effective. Kingsman is only slightly different. There are several moments that are hard-hitting, visceral, and even cringeworthy, but masterfully put together. In short, Vaughn knew exactly how to use the violence in order to manipulate the audience. Violence can be horrific, fulfilling, comedic, and Vaughn knew exactly how to accomplish all three of these. While it may sound like I'm praising the artistic nuances of this film, let's be clear, it is not a subtle film by any means, and while I very much find Vaughn's films entertaining, he's not a subtle director either. As mentioned, in Kingsman, he creates some very wicked scenes, including a slaughterhouse in a cult-like church where everybody is literally at each other's throats. And Vaughn takes you on an emotional journey in just that one scene. Oh my god, this is awesome. Whoa, that was a good kill. Okay, that was a little gruesome. Okay, this is kind of uncomfortably long. I want my mommy. But because it's such a hard-hitting scene and something I've really never experienced before, the church brawl is Kingsman's for the win. You've got to see it. But while that specific action scene was very well played out and perfectly timed, the further and further you get into the film and the more you get the in-your-face action, the more it begins to wear you down. Or maybe I'm old. Or maybe it's both. It's important to note there are subtle touches in the script and in paying homage to classic spy movies. Vaughn brought clever nudges and self-satirical humor to films like James Bond the same way he did with comic book films in Kick-Ass. But one moment, they're cleverly pointing out this is not a Bond movie, it's different. The next moment, they're tattooing different on your forehead. The last half an hour, 20 minutes of the film is so over the top, even more so than the rest of the movie, that I felt it almost completely threw off the balance. We're talking people's heads exploding in technicolor mushroom clouds. And while Bond would have some sexual innuendo rife with double entendre, Kingsman has a Scandinavian princess who literally says, "Save me, and we can do it in the asshole." By the way, for those of you who aren't as worldly, that sexual position is known as an IKEA because not only is it Swedish, but it's extremely hard to put together. I felt like the climax almost ruined the film, but looking back at that, I enjoyed 90% of the movie. It's different from every other spy movie you've ever seen. It also has Mark Strong doing a Scottish accent, and a little Michael Caine. It definitely won't have the staying power of a James Bond or a Jason Bourne franchise, but it is a fun movie, at least 90% of it. So it is, and earn it. Poll question, what is your favorite ultra-violent film? As always, leave your answers in the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe to Real School, follow me on Twitter, especially because it's Academy Award season. I'm probably going to be live tweeting during the show. And of course, if you get anything out of Real School, you can always give a little back. Just click the link and you can become a Real School patron. But until next time, school's out.